Hey everybody, Rob Cootie here of the MLM Solution. I hope everybody's doing well. Today is Tuesday. It is the 15th of June and it's currently 10:50, coming up on 10:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we please ask, help us out with the algorithms by simply sharing our hashtag, which is hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. Please be part of the positive process of sharing our platform, our podcast, our websites, all the information and tools that we bring to the industry with our fellow network marketers across the globe, because you can be a part of that positive process of exposing them to this information that can empower them to do great things in this wonderful business model for themselves and their families. What a great thing to be a part of. And the algorithms reward us when you comment and all of that by the fact it gets this information out in front of more people. So once again, we ask for your help. And you guys have been awesome about it already. We're grateful for it, and thank you so much. Go to our website, themlmsolution.net, and hit the share button. Just takes a second or two. Once again, start that positive process of sharing. All right, with that being said, we're going to have an interesting show today, podcast number 199. What do I do now when the second and third one-third doesn't work? Yesterday's episode was 198, and it was about the first third when it didn't work. I guarantee you learned some important information in that episode. If you haven't seen it, please go to our website, click on the podcast replay, and watch yesterday's episode. And that will go hand in hand with today's episode. Don't miss it as we take a deep dive into this amazing insight about this little known business building tactic. All right, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. I've rambled enough. I'll see you guys.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie and Marie Cannon.
Well, Miss Marie, have you gotten used to hearing your name yet?
Freaks me out a little bit every time I hear it. There's like this whole new level of pressure of responsibility.
Yeah, when your name is on the line, it does change things a bit. Kind of freaks some people out.
But it's all good. No
you know
problem.
What? It's onward and upward from here. I'm very excited about the future. You've seen the changes. I said, let's give it a year. We're coming up on a year, and now we're getting ready to go in a new direction. You see all the new things happening. Mm-hmm. So I'm true to my word. I said we'll give it a year, and if people like it, and as you know, the numbers in the last 2 months have really picked up, and so there we are.
Yeah, and I'm also very much impressed by our international audience. Is France still ranking up there towards the top?
Yes, it is. Bonjour,
mes amis.
And it's funny because it used to be United Kingdom, I think it was, and Canada was up there. But you're right. We've had it from all across the world. Oh my gosh. I'll have to send you the statistics. I haven't looked at them in a while. I mean, the numbers are still crazy, but wow. Huh? I mean, everywhere. So yeah, we have an audience all across the globe. We can literally say that.
That's awesome.
I know we don't have it in every country, but we have in a lot of countries, and that's amazing. I never thought that. I never expected that, to be honest with you.
What I always like to say is all the important people are here. So
that's right. There you go. I like that. Okay. With that being said, guys, we're going to this is podcast number 199. One more to the magical 200. And Miss Marie always shows me up. I vowed that I would be ready this time. I got caught with my pants down in the past. On our 50th, 100, 150, she's 3-0 against me. I cannot allow this to happen. She says that she will be ready. I have no doubt. She always is, but the wife and I make a good team. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that we come up with something good.
Well, I tell you what, I'm expecting big things from you because ever since episode 101, you've been looking forward to episode 200.
I have
and
been
tomorrow is going to be
It's
episode
finally here.
200.
I know. Can you believe it? I did. She's right, guys. I podcast number 101, and she laughed at me. She thought, "Oh my gosh, you're crazy! It's so far away."
Because I think your statement was something along the lines of, "We're almost at episode 200."
Yes, I did. I said, "We're right on the verge of episode 200." She's like, "Are you crazy?"
Now, today, that's the truth. Back then, it was future casting, and I'm okay with that.
There you go. That's what it was. Very well put. Well, I'm already looking forward to number 300.
Oh, brother, we haven't even hit 200. Come on, man.
I know it. I know. I mean, I guess if you and I are blessed enough, there's going to be a time where we'll have show number 1,482.
Oh, good Lord.
I know. I don't know, Miss Marie. I don't know if I can do that. How far this is going to go, I have no idea.
Yeah, we're all just kind of along for the ride.
Along for the ride for however long that may be. We don't know. Our audience will probably determine that. So we'll see what happens. All right. With that being said, I know that I'll say this. If we ever make it to 1,482 episodes, the show won't be anything like it is now. I'll tell you that. It'll be drastically different. You and I'll look back at this and laugh and think, oh my gosh, we were horrible.
And we'll go, we were so young back then.
Yeah, we were so young back then. Yeah. As I'm in my walker. Look at me.
Yeah, we'll be talking and our teeth will fall out because the denture cream isn't sticking. And yeah.
And I'll be wearing my underwear outside of my pants.
Well, it's a good thing we only see the upper half.
I know. No. Yeah. The wife goes, man, it's a good thing they can't see the bottom half. I said, yeah. Because people don't want to know what I'm wearing down here. So we'll just leave it at that, right?
Exactly.
I do wear clothes, though, just so you know.
I know. You're in your gym shorts. You're comfy. It's hot. I get it.
Yeah. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm in my pajamas, and sometimes I'm in my swim trunks. It has a lot to do with what I'm doing outside. And if it's Margaritaville time, well, I got my Tommy Bahama and Margaritaville stuff on. As you know, I love wearing that stuff.
Yep. And it's all very colorful, just like you. So.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if the wife calls me colorful. I think she calls me pain in the ass.
Well, she has to live with you. We should work together.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, since we've had our wonderful moments, it's so glad to have Miss Marie back. She brings so much to the show. All right. So with that being said, guys, we're going to quickly, if we will, we're going to give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear. You know, we got to remember to do that. It's Rob's fault. But we got to remind you guys, consistency is the key to success. And we always got to remind you guys, please give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear. If you understand the points we're making, you can see that there's value in those points. And when you give us a thumbs up, we get an immediate feedback. We love it. And it lets us know that we're hitting the nail on the head. And if you go to our social media platforms, please, if you will, the algorithm loves it when you guys share, like, or comment on our various social media platforms. And if you go to our YouTube channel, everybody's hopefully familiar with the little bell. Just hit it twice. And that way you get notified when we go live and when we upload new content. And once again, when you do those things, it helps us with the algorithm. That allows our content to get in front of more and more people, allowing us to get this wonderful information out to more people. All right. With that being said, Miss Marie, we're going to have a good topic today. What happens when the second and third does not work? When, as you know, Miss Marie, yesterday we talked about the first third. We made it very clear to not panic. Focus on sponsoring 60 people in 90 days, 80 people in 90 days, 30 people in 90 days. Whatever you put down on your 90-day goal list, that is what you need to do. You don't worry about the one-third until the dust is settled. And usually the dust doesn't settle until the end of phase 2 business building process. Okay. And if you're not familiar with the different phases, there's really 5 different phases of the business building process, but 4 are active, where you are physically participating in the business building process. Now, with that being said, there's only 2 phases that you need to worry about right now. Because even if Miss Marie and I, if we were to start out today, Miss Marie and I we wouldn't even worry about phase 3 and 4. I mean, we would give it some thought when we lay down our game plan. If we run into a new company, our goal is to maximize that financial opportunity that company's providing us, because we have a small window of opportunity to make as much money as quickly as we possibly can. In order to make that happen, we know that we may have to do a phase 3 and 4. So it is in our mind, it is in our overall game plan when we write down our game plan. But it may not be necessary, but at least we know that it's a possibility, right, Ms. Bree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that being said, we are doing what? We're focusing on phase 1 and 2. And phase 1 and 2 help you put the foundation of success in place so that your business can catch traction and go into that exponential growth right along with the company. Okay. So you don't have time to be worrying about no 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. All right. And you really won't know what numbers are, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, until the dust settles at the end of phase 2, where the last, because phase 2 is about identifying and working with leaders. You're doing the 90-day mini blast, not only to lay the foundation of success, meaning the people you personally sponsor, but during that process, your goal is what? The essence of this business is leaders. Whoever has the most leaders wins. And leaders, as we did an episode on it, Miss Marie, leaders have certain characteristics in the network marketing business model. They're doing at least 100 PV per month. Their business has consistent volume growth, consistent pin rank advancement. They're out there working it. They're sponsoring, bringing new people in all the time. Those are the telltale signs of a leader. Okay. Not everybody's a leader. You don't count everybody as a leader. You say, okay, why is it important? Well, because you're done with phase 2 when the last leader that requested your help tells you, Rob, I no longer need your help. I got this. I understand what I'm doing. I know the challenges I'm about to face. I know how to overcome them. You did a wonderful job helping me out and training me. I'm good to go. Okay. Now they may call me once in a month or something like that. Who knows? And if you're smart, which we did an episode on, you'll have leadership calls anyway, where you get all your leaders together and stay in touch with them. You don't want to harass them. You don't want to train them anymore. Get away from that crap. You don't need to find your value in training. If they're out there and their business is growing, leave them alone. All right. So that being said, when the last person tells you to go away, I no longer need your help, you are pretty much done with phase 2, right, Miss Marie? Because there's nobody else to work with. Okay. You've done your job. Theoretically, and in a hard case, your 90-day mini blast should be 90 days. Your identify and work with leaders should also be approximately 90 days. But guess what? Life doesn't always work that way. And that's where when the second and third doesn't work, comes into play, because your business may not complete itself in 6 months. It may take 8 months to your 90-day mini blast may turn into 4 months, 120 days. Okay. You may have had some physical challenges, had a doctor appointment, whatever. Okay. And you maintain enough momentum to where you didn't have to stop, quote unquote, the 90-day mini blast, but it stretched out to 120 days. So don't beat yourself up over that. That happens. Just continue to move on. Shoot towards those 60 people in 90 days, even though it's now 120 days. Who cares? All right. So then your 90-day mini blast, instead of 3 months, is now 4 months. Now your identifying working with leaders may also take 4 months. Okay. If you've got a lot of leaders that are taking up a lot of your time, you don't look at the calendar and say, oh my gosh, I'm only supposed to do this for 3 months. What do I do? I still got 4 people I'm working with. Guys, quit looking at the freaking calendar. Okay. These are just theoretical dates. You have to go after them. You have to shoot for 90 days. But if you go beyond that, your life doesn't end. The business doesn't end. It doesn't hurt your business. Okay. It's a fluid situation. So, Miss Marie, you could be 8 months in before the dust settles, before you know one third, one third, one third, right?
Well, absolutely. And something else to keep in mind here is that phase two, the identifying and working with leaders, these are not just the people that joined your organization through your own efforts in phase one. These are people that are coming in as business partners, and they're going out and they're prospecting and they're bringing in more business partners as well. So it's not just your leaders that you're working with in phase two. I mean, if you're really fortunate, it's possible that phase two could go on almost indefinitely.
Yes.
If you've brought in high quality people that self-identify as leaders, they start building their business. And even if they get to a point where they're good to go and they don't necessarily need your help anymore, you can still be assisting in their development of leaders within their organization.
That's right.
Which can take up a great deal of your time.
Absolutely.
So that phase two, while we talk about 90 days because it's an easy number to work with, phase two could go on for 90 days, 180 days. It could go on for 9 months to a year before you'd even be at a point where you're really going to think about your one third, one third, one third, or potentially be considering doing a phase 3 and 4.
That's right. Absolutely. Well put. Absolutely. Great insight. And the guys, here's the thing, the 90 days, you got to realize the 90 days, all business works in thirds. Okay. That's just the way it is. I don't know how else to say it. And the reason we talk about 90-day mini blast, number one, is because 90 days creates speed and urgency, which is necessary. We've done episodes on that. You got to have speed and urgency in order to create the momentum that's necessary for your business to catch traction. Okay, that's one of the main reasons why you do a 90-day mini blast. And that's the reason why you set goals that will stretch you to achieve those, like 60 people in 90 days. Okay, those are all designed to get that momentum going. It inherently builds that urgency and speed. You say, oh my gosh, those are daunting tasks. I'm going to have to really get my butt in gear to meet or exceed those goals. Now, another reason is because the company, if it's a new company, they have quarterly goals, and you're going to ride with that company. You do not want the growth of the company, Miss Marie, like, I'm going to do this. This is Rob, and the company, you want to be as close to the company as you can, like this. You don't want the company to be so far out ahead of you that you can't even see it. In other words, Miss Marie, the growth is 3 to 4 or 5 months ahead of you. Meaning, Miss Marie, that it's going to reach the end of phase one growth sooner than you. Does that make sense? And you're going to lose out on money. Does that make sense? That window is closing all the time. So you want to be as close to that company's growth as you possibly can, meaning that you want to have quarterly goals too. That's a reason why we talk about 90-day mini blast, another one of the main reasons. And the reason why we say identify and work with your leaders, which is phase 2, and have that as a 90-day target as well. Because you want to have that speed and urgency in your own business that will meet the speed and urgency that the owners of the company are setting for their company. Hey, we're 3 months old. We did $10 million in those 3 months. Guess what? The next 3 months, we've got to do $20 million. Okay. They have goals. And in order to reach those goals, they're going to stretch themselves and they're going to work hard. They're going to bring on new programs. They're going to expand in other countries. They're going to add new products. There's a lot of things happening. Well, guess what? You got to expand with them too. If they're going to Korea, guess what? Sponsor Korean people. Find somebody who's got family in Korea. Grow right along with that company, right, Miss Marie? Yep. If they're bringing in a new product, guess what? Tell your people, make this part of your 100 PV per month. All right? This is a great product, right?
Absolutely. And how often do you hear people say, I work better under pressure, right? Mm-hmm. Which is part of the reason why we talk about those 90-day windows. We're creating that time pressure for you. Part of it is we're trying to avoid getting bit by Parkinson's law. Have you heard of this one?
Yeah.
So Parkinson's law is the one that says your work will expand to fill the time allotted. So if you just say you're going to sign up 60 people and you don't put a deadline on it, a time limit on it, it's just going to go on forever because you haven't set that time limit. So if you set that 90-day limit and say, I'm going to sign up 60 people in 90 days, that creates that time pressure, that speed and urgency that Rob's talking about to really get your business going and build that momentum.
That's right. And that speed and urgency, guys, and that as she said, that when you're stretching yourself, there's success stories that come out of that. There's a synergy. People can feel that there's things happening. People are being promoted right before their eyes. People are getting bonuses right before their eyes. They're hearing these stories. They're seeing these stories. They're watching this stuff unfold, which creates a synergy and excitement that you can't create yourself. And it all starts with that speed and urgency and that 90-day goals. But you got to realize that you're trying to do those 90 days right along with the company, because the company is setting 90-day goals itself, and it's going to stretch itself. And you want to be going as quick as you can right along with that company as well as you can. Once again, you don't want to stretch yourself out. Your goal is not to be in lockstep with the company. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, hey, if they say they're going into Korea, you want to focus on finding somebody to sponsor in Korea, or somebody that knows. If they're saying they're going to Japan, guess what? Same thing. What are you doing? You're matching the company's growth pattern, which is what? Stretching you. And you're now focused on finding someone that you can sponsor as part of your 60 people in 90 days that's in Korea, that's in Japan. And get on the phone or Zoom calls and start doing meetings for people in Japan, in Korea, as the company is getting ready to open up in those countries. That's what we're talking about. That's the reason why these 90-day cycles are really important. But the thing is, you don't want to stress yourself out if you go beyond that 90-day. That's really important that we get that across to you. You did not fail if you did not sponsor 60 people in 90 days, right, Ms. Marie?
Correct. Yep.
And so on top of that, if it takes you 120 days, that's fine. So what? The company may not meet its $20 million goal in its second quarter. It may take a little bit longer. You know what? They're going to readjust and they're going to reset a goal and they're going to go after that, right, Ms. Marie? In the next quarter. So the company has to stretch itself too. And a lot of times it's not going to meet its goals, but guess what? They're going to be close to it and they're going to be excited by the fact, yeah, we might have missed it, but we didn't miss it by much. We're happy with where we are. And the reason you set a $20 million goal in your second quarter as a new company, because in your back of your mind, you're saying, look, I'll be happy with 15 because we did 10. But you don't want to say 15 because you'll end up with 12. So what do? You stretch yourself to 20 so you end up with 15, right, Ms. Marie?
Well, absolutely. And that's the whole point of having goals, right? Is to stretch yourself a little bit. One of the things we often say in our episodes here is, shoot for the stars and you may find you land on the moon. Now, is that really a failure? No, because you got off the earth, you got over the mountaintop. So you're on your way to your goals. You may not hit them exactly, but your trajectory is going in the right direction. That's right.
So what does all this have to do with the second and the third? Why is it, if I'm you guys always talk about one third, and the importance of it. And now you're saying that it may not be important, or you're not tying it together with what you're talking about here in these quarterly examples. Guys, it does. Here's what I'm saying. When you say, what do I do now? The second and the third are not working. The reason we talked about the quarterly goals is because it'll take to the end of phase 2, whether your phase 1 is supposed to be 90 days, phase 2 is supposed to be 90 days, phase 2 is identify work with your leaders. It may not work out that way. It may be 4 or 5 months before you get done working with those leaders. As she said, it could be up to a year. She's absolutely right. Does that mean you're a failure? No. Does that mean that your second and third are not working? No. You don't even need to worry about the third. They are what they are. They're typically your customers, the people that are going to go to other companies, whatever the case may be. There's a real mix of people in that last third. Don't even worry about them. Don't even worry about them. The only ones you want to worry about is the first and second third. And typically, Miss Marie, what happens is your first third, they're the ones that really set the foundation in phase 1 and 2. And then the second third guys are the people that come on in phase 2. And you work with those, as Miss Marie said, anywhere from 4 months to a year. Okay? Because you have the pool of people in the second third is going to be much larger than the pool of people in the first third. Okay. In other words, the first third take action now. The second third takes action later. Third. Okay. Typically, your second third is going to be much bigger. You say, well, what do you mean? Because remember, only 1 to 3% of the people in any industry in the world are going to be in the top, right, Miss Marie? And those people, the cream rises to the top. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to sponsor people that are going to take action and they're going to do something whether you do it or not. And they're not going to wait on you. You train them, they're going, bam. Okay. And thank God they're in your business. And the thing is that they're going to build whatever lifestyle income they want, and they're going to check in with you every once in a while to make sure they're doing something right. But outside of that, they're going on their own. Okay. And here's the thing, they're going to make up 95% of your income. But guess what? They're the 1 to 3%ers. The rest of the people make up, it's 96 to 97% of your business, meaning that your second third is going to be a huge, if you build a big business, part of your business. Okay. And the volume, and that means you have a chance to have, let's say that you have 3 to 5 legs creating 95% of your income. The remaining percent, the other 5%, is going to come from 20 to 30 or 40 leaders, right, Miss Marie? Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how this can play out. And we've done episodes in the 3 to 5 legs. I'm not going to get into that. It can be larger. We talked about how you can make it larger. But the bottom line is the numbers are always going to play out this way. And you're going to end up, as she said, you could be working a year with these other leaders. And don't think that yourself that extra 5% is not important. Do you realize that extra 5% could be worth millions to you? Literally millions. Because if you have a large organization, guys, you would be shocked at how much 5% of, let's say your business, Ms. Marie, is doing $30 million a month. And I mean, it's moving $30 million worth of volume all across the world, right? Because you built this huge organization. Let's say you got 10 to 15,000 people in your organization. You're moving $30 million a month with it. Do you realize what 5% of $30 million is? That's $1.5 million.
That ain't chump change.
That ain't chump change. Okay. You say, well, that doesn't compare to the 95%. You're right, it doesn't. But I'll take that $1.5 million a month every day of the week. Okay. So don't think that 5% is not worth it. It is. And I'm using a large example, but even in a small example, what if it made you an extra $8,000 to $9,000 a month? Oh, I'd take that every day of the week. Wouldn't you, Miss Marie?
Absolutely.
So it's not chump change. It sounds like it when you put the percentages out there. So the thing is, as Miss Marie said, you may be working with the second, third guys, which is going to be a huge amount of leaders. Okay. And she hit the nail on the head. She said, hey, you're going to be working not only with your frontline leaders, but the leaders in depth too. Because guys, sometimes the other people that sponsored those individuals in depth are no longer around, no longer active. And guess what? They're going to come to you. Okay. And they're going to bring their people to your live events, your Zoom calls, right, Miss Marie? It's almost like you personally sponsored them. And they're leaning on you because their people are gone. They're like, you know what? Miss Marie's holding these Zoom calls. I'm going to contact her, see when I bring my people on. Miss Marie's smart. She says, I don't care where they are in my depth. If they want to be on the Zoom call, yes, the more people, the better. And she's going to have them on there because she doesn't know what kind of leader is going to come out of depth. It could be a huge leader. Okay. So she's going to reach down, right, Miss Marie?
Absolutely. And we did an episode on monitoring your back office, and that's where this really comes into play. Because if you have volume coming up through a portion of your organization where you know there's really not an active leader participating, you need to reach out to those people, because oftentimes people coming into the business, they catch the vision, they want to take advantage of the opportunity. They can't see up the line to who the next leader is. They really only know who brought them into the business. And unless that person has communicated to them who the next upline leader is, they really have no visibility for that. So you're monitoring your back office for that activity. And when you see that activity, you need to reach down to that person in your organization and check in with them. It's like, hey, I see, Michelle brought you into the business. Are you getting the support that you need?
That's right.
No, what can I do to help you? And you build that relationship. You help them develop their business to the maximum that they can, that they want to. And that's how you're, continuing to identify and develop your leaders.
Right. And guys, if you sponsor 60 people in 90 days, do you realize, and if you get paid 10 levels deep, do you realize how many people that is? That is huge. I mean, that's a minimum. That's a minimum of 600 people. Okay. Minimum. And my math, I'm sure, is a little bit off there, but it's minimum 600 people. I know that. Okay. Meaning that you could have, oh my gosh, 1/3 of 600 people, Miss Marie. That's 180 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That 180 people would represent your leaders. How long would it take you to work? And then the 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 is going to work on the 180. Okay. Which means 54. You know how long it would take to work with 54 leaders? Okay. And 54 leaders could help create your 95% of your income, and the remaining of the, we said 180 leaders. Guess what? The remaining people of 180, which is 116, guess what? They're leaders too. They're the part of your second third. So you would have a massive organization and be working a lot of hours supporting that number of leaders. Thank God for technology. It used to be that you had to fly all across the country and do that. And you would have to get large venues, auditoriums, and fill it up with up to 1,000 people. And I'm not kidding you, folks, because you had to get in front of as many people as you possibly could. You couldn't afford to do events of 30 people because you would have to do 2 or 3 events a day, 7 days a week in order to keep your organization going. So,
yeah, and back in the day, high roll technology was setting up a conference call where you could have a couple speakers and everybody could listen, right? Now you have the possibility of virtual events and Zoom calls and interaction, and
that's right.
So much easier today, so much more opportunity to leverage the technology today.
Yes. Oh man, leveraging your time and your talents is amazing with today's technology. So to make this point absolutely clear, so we can close out this episode. Look, when the second and third doesn't work in your mind, it is working. That's the whole point of this episode, and it was the point of yesterday's episode. The reason we picked these titles for these 2 episodes, what do I do now, when the second third and the third don't work, is because we wanted to get your attention and let you know that they're working whether you recognize it or not. People typically panic because they don't understand how the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 works. And when they don't, quote unquote, see these 1/3s jumping out at them, they tend to panic. And your second third is really incognito because you're so focused on working with your first third, which is people that take immediate action now, that the second third kind of goes in the background because they're not dominating your attention. They're not building large organizations. And that's a dangerous situation to be in. You have to be able to identify through the back office. We did episodes in that. Your back office is one of the most important tools you'll ever have. It will tell you a story. We talked about that, how to read your back office. It does. It tells you a story. It tells you exactly what's going on. It's like a book. And if you read it right, it'll tell you who you need to work with. It'll tell you who your rising stars are, right, Miss Marie? Mm-hmm. And the back office will start to identify the first third and the second third. Okay, and we talked about the different levels of leaders, the volume they're creating, the pin rank advancement in their organizations. That would, Miss Marie and I could log in our back office, no matter how big it is, and we could look right away and see who our first third is, without any doubt. But we'd have to do the numbers. We talked about that yesterday. If you're going to sponsor 60 people in 90 days, you have to do that. You have to focus on sponsoring 60 people in 90 days, and then identify and work with your leaders. And at the end of phase 2 is when the dust starts to settle, when the 1/3 and the 1/3 and the 1/3 really becomes apparent. And how do you do that? You log in your back office. Ms. Marie and I could do that. I don't care if we had 10,000 people. We could log in and we could quickly see the first third. And then we could identify the second third. And I'm going to tell you the second third is going to be huge because you're going to have some people that are creating 1,000 group volume a month. You're going to have some other organizations creating 5,000 group volume. You're going to have some other creating 12,000 group volume. You're going to have some creating 30,000. The second 1/3 could be huge because if you build it right, you're going to have a few superstars. They're going to have organizations doing 100,000 group volume per month. or more. Okay. And the thing is that those are immediately, how would you say, they pop out at you as soon as you log in. I mean, why? How could 100,000 group volume per month not catch your attention, right? But it would overshadow those that are doing 10,000 group volume, 13,000 group volume. That is an amazing accomplishment in itself. And when we talked about, Miss Marie, how people stop. Remember that we talked about the scale of life where people stop. They think they want the big time, but they get to a certain point and they say, you know what, I'm happy here. Well, that's the people that are 13,000 group volume. Those are the people at 8,000 group volume. They're happy with the lifestyle and the income they're making. And they thought they wanted the big time, but they realized, no, I'm good. I'm really happy here. And guess what? That is part of your second, third, isn't it, Miss Marie? That's your second level leaders. And it's huge. It could be 116 leaders, it could be 150 leaders in your business, right?
Absolutely.
You have anything to add?
I don't. I think that's about as clear as we can make it, really.
Did I make it very clear?
I think so.
Okay, as we close, don't ever worry about the last third. That's your customers. That's your small retail. It's people setting up booths at flea markets. That's people selling retail in whatever way they're doing. You don't worry about those. Okay, it doesn't mean that you don't know them. It's Marie and I talked about that. If those people come to our live event, we're going to look them right in the eye. I don't care if they're buying one product a month. That's part of my volume. I will look them in the eye. I've done it in the past, and I shake their hand. I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, because every person counts. And that's not a cliche. In my eyes, every person counts. And so and especially if they come to the events, Miss Marie, and I don't care if they're coming for social reasons or not. I don't care. You know what? I accept them for what they want to do. And if that's what they want to do with their business and their life, I'm good. I'm tickled pink with it. So you don't worry about the last third. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It means that as a business builder, you can't worry about that last third. You're never going to turn them into a business builder. They are what they are, right, Miss Marie?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to push them towards success. At some point, they may become inspired to start taking action by attending some of the events, by participating in some of the calls, being called out and thanked for, the contribution they do make. It may incentivize them to start building their business, but until they start actively building their business, that's not where you want to spend your time. No. And they are, and as I close, I just want you to know they are important. It's just that you can't focus on them. Okay? Because you're here to build a business and a lifestyle. You're not here to coddle people. Okay? You thank them, but you don't coddle them and you don't carry them on your back. All right, Miss Marie, I think we did a great thing. This is a subject, as you know, that no one else touches on. And you know how important this is because most people don't. Matter of fact, most people don't even know about the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And additionally, they don't know how it works and how it affects their business building process. And guys, overall, as we close, don't ever worry about the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Just focus on sponsoring people, whatever your goal is. And if you do a phase 3 and 4, guess what? Again, forget about the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. We'll say as we close, if you at the end of phase 2, if you ever decide you want to do a phase 3, your back office will tell you whether you need to do a phase 3. Well, your pocketbook too, and your lifestyle. But if you already have a lifestyle, if you're making $50,000 a month, I would say that's a pretty nice lifestyle. And only you determine whether you want to take that to the next level. And your back office at the end of phase 2 will help you determine whether you want to do a phase 3 and 4, which is a whole new level of maximizing that financial opportunity. And as we close this out, the only reason you want to do that is if you say, look, this is my one shot in network marketing. I'm going to make the most of it. I want to turn this 50,000 into 150,000. The company is still young enough where I can do it. I'm doing a phase 3 and 4. I see what I accomplished in phase 1 and 2. I now feel very confident that I can really go to a higher level in phase 3 and 4. And that's when you want to do it. If 50,000 a month is not enough and you want to set yourself up for the rest of your life, then I agree. But you got to do it quick because that window is closing each and every day that company is in business. All right, guys, with that being said, we've said enough. Miss Marie, you have anything to add? I do not, other than please be sure to join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, for Rob's much awaited, highly anticipated episode 200.
200. Yes, 200. Tomorrow's the 200th episode, Miss Marie. I'm smiling. Wow. I'm humbled and I'm smiling. I really am.
So we're going to have some fun tomorrow since it's episode 200 and it is a bit
I
of
don't
a
even know if
milestone.
we'll get to the subject tomorrow.
We're gonna be doing a little bit of a retrospective, talk about why we started, how far we've come, and also let you in on some of the future plans we have coming up.
Yes. To all of that. She's right. It's going to be, I'll be honest with you. I'm not an emotional person, but tomorrow is going to be very special to me. There's no doubt. And
This
right.
could be an exciting episode, kind of like our Freelance Fridays.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, I've got to get my butt off of here because you know what? I got to work with the wife to come up with something to beat Miss Marie. She has me worried. She's really good at this stuff.
Yeah, you got a little less than 24 hours to figure it out there.
I know it. All right, guys. With that being said, we're going to hop off here. God bless. Take care. Be safe. We hope to see you tomorrow. As you know, go to our website, blah, blah, blah. Look at our stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, Miss Marie. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. Download our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast platforms. Visit our website at www.themlmsolution.net for additional important information, show details, and past shows. Follow us on Parler, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the get notified button while visiting our other social media platforms.